trying to offset the ill will I feel standing here for 25 minutes, and then you throw, I've had diarrhea in my face.
Oh.
I got no sleep because I was dumping all night.
Okay, wait. Okay. Can you not put that in, please?
You don't want to talk about it? That's what I was going to ask questions about.
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because it's embarrassing. It's
Is
gross.
it? I don't think it's embarrassing.
Well, it is for me. I feel embarrassed. I don't mind telling you that a little bit, but like I don't want to talk about it.
I was going to go into great detail.
Yeah, so can we not do that?
All right, what's the topic then?
Well, I don't know. We never have a topic.
Well, that was going to be my topic. But all right. Okay. You're eating toast and drinking coffee?
Yeah. I had a toast. I can say, like, I don't mind. I can say, like, I was having, I don't know. The way that you were talking about it was going to be embarrassing. And you were going to try and humiliate me. And I didn't like it. I
wasn't going to do that. I will share my own gastrointestinal issues.
Okay.
There'll be a give and take. But that's all right. I won't do it.
Yeah.
I can tell you're being flustered. You're getting flustered. You couldn't. You're like, what? I mean, it really does. It's at a point of shame.
It's not a shame. It's just, I don't know. I wouldn't mind talking about it in a way that is, I guess, like almost more polite, you know?
Like Japanese culture.
Sure. You know.
Put on my bathroom slippers. Well, all right. We don't have to talk about it.
All right.
I mean, it blew up my whole prep.
It what?
It blew up my whole prep.
Why? Because you had planned to talk about this thing 2 seconds ago?
Yeah, just like you blew up the bathroom. I wish I could blow up the bathroom. It's the opposite problem. It's the problem.
Oh, are you still const?
Yeah, it's just part of it. I don't know. Don't know what's going on.
That's still happening?
I can drink as much coffee as I want. Could get to the point where it's impacted, and then you have to go to the hospital, and the doctor reaches in with their hand and has to pull it all out. Or you have to do it yourself.
I've had to like pull stuff out of, I think, Ellie once. It was just stuck. I was like, okay.
If I had to do that in that moment, I would think to myself, not what a wonderful world. I think, why the fuck did I have this child?
You know,
how did my life get here?
There's something about it being your own kid and they depend on you so much. You just feel like, all right, it's got to be done. It's like I get a little squeamish. I have that fainting feeling, or like a what's it called? A swooning reaction to blood sometimes. And like Ellie or Pete will have some issue. Oh, or even like my dad, if he falls and he has like and his skin is so thin, it's really crazy. And I've like helped like bandage him up. My mom does most of it. Obviously, she's there with him more, but I've done it. I've helped. And it's like, well, okay. Gotta do it. You just kind of like, oh my God, the other day, Pete was in the bed with me and I was falling asleep and I was so glad. I was like, yes, it's happening. You know, like that feeling before you're like, I'm going to fall asleep. And I just hear what sounds like someone just dumping water, like a bucket of water on the floor, and Pete's throwing up. And so I have to like figure out, just like on the carpet, you know, so like I have to figure out how to gather what's there. And then it's so wet. It was like so much liquid. I used some like microfiber, like washclothy things I had, and I used those to soak up as much as I could. And I have like a vacuum, you know, that is for like pet things. And so I used that to like suck up all the liquid. And again, and so in the middle of that, I was like, oh God. I was a little bit like what you're talking about, where you're like, why is this
Well,
happening?
anytime you're near vomit, it makes you want to vomit.
I had to like hold my nose, like I had to not breathe through my nose, but that is always gross too because like I could smell his like vomit smell, and then, but then I always think like, but now it's in my mouth.
Yeah, the particles were in your mouth. They were in your
Yeah.
nose.
It's so gross.
They went into your lungs. They were absorbed into your blood.
Yeah. Now his insides are part of me, which I guess they were already. So.
Yeah, it's just a return to the womb.
Yep.
A nice mother-son bonding.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't barf because it's a built-in reaction, right? The idea is from tribal times, if somebody ate
Sure.
something that was bad, you probably ate the same thing, and if they're vomiting, it triggers you to vomit, get it out of your system. I vomited in high school, and my mom cleaned it up. That was really embarrassing.
Oh, high school.
Well, don't give the pity because we were abusing over-the-counter flu medication that was designed for people with high blood pressure. So the whole idea was, I guess we were just lowering our blood pressure because that's fun. It's not. I only took 2 of these things. People called them Skittles because they were just
Wow.
little.
Do you know what they were?
Yeah, I could look them up. Blood pressure. This is where we need.
That's so scary. Why are you guys doing that?
Because you're stupid.
Yeah.
The whole thing was stupid. People have died from it.
Wow.
There were cases of it. Stuff's not as widespread at that point because the internet was dial up. Things weren't popping up on your phone, but stories did come about that it's one of these things where apparently everybody across the country, not everybody, but there were cases just spread across the country all at the same time of people abusing this medication. Who first decided to do it and how the information was spread about?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Wow.
I only took like 2 or 3 of them, and that was enough for me. And people would take like a whole blister pack.
Wow.
I don't even know if it's. Was it?
That's so scary.
I think it was.
Like as a mom, I think like that's so scary. Like, man, what are your kids up to?
They're going to be up to things.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of my friends got caught stealing them from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Because they're expensive. And then all right, I'll go back. I took these things. I went home. I woke up in the middle of the night. I felt sick. I vomited. There was a jalapeno popper in there. And
it is always crazy when you throw something up and you're like, I know I chewed my food. I know.
Unless it's ramen.
Yeah.
Ramen looks the same.
I told you, this is another story where Pete threw up. He didn't make it to the bathroom and he threw up in the sink of the bathroom. And it was spaghetti. And he'd eaten so much of it and he was like loving it. And then he threw it up. And then I was like, it looks like I just poured the spaghetti dinner into my sink. It just looked like he hadn't chewed anything.
Yeah. So I reverted back to being a 5-year-old. I just went into my parents' room in the middle of the night.
I threw up.
And like poked them and said, yeah, I threw up. And then went back to my bed and laid down. And then I admitted it. I admitted it the next day. I said,
oh, wow.
I said, we were taking these pills and it was stupid. And I told my mom other people who were doing it, but I said, please don't tell on them. And she didn't say anything, which is cool when you're in high school, but looking at it as an adult, maybe should have said something. I think it was because I presented it as a one-time thing. I didn't say that this was ongoing. And then one of those friends got caught stealing. And, of course, his parents found out. And it came to light that I had told my mom.
Oh, and then they were mad at her.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you say anything? Which, again, I made it seem like I didn't do this on purpose, but I'm sure it came off like this was a dumb thing we did last night. Yeah. I knew I wasn't going to do it ever again because it wasn't fun. I take blood pressure medication. Mine's fine because it's dosed for me. But once I took, my dad has it and it was too much. And it just makes you feel dizzy and sick and it's not fun. And I don't know why people would want to have abused this drug. But
yeah,
it was a thing.
I mean, it is weird. Like kids, I did weird things too. Like I had a friend that told me you could like smoke spaghetti or something. We would like light a spaghetti on fire and like try
Well,
and
that's just dumb.
smoke it.
It
No,
doesn't
I know,
do
just
it.
dumb stuff. Yeah, you're just
And
like
then-
so desperate sometimes for. I don't know, like
What are you? You're
to-
bored?
but I think to test yourself, right? You're like you're getting older, and you're seeing just like a little bit more freedom that maybe you're not totally ready for, but maybe this is also part of it, right? Is like testing yourself, what you can, like what you're comfortable with, what you're capable of, what ends up feeling dangerous, what feels dangerous in the moment, you know? So then you just do dumb stuff. You're like desperate.
Eating too much nutmeg, I think, is something that apparently can make you hallucinate.
Oh yeah. I think my mom said when she was a kid, she and her friend drank vanilla extract because it had alcohol in it. It was so dumb.
Same thing as chugging some mouthwash, I guess.
Yeah.
But people did die. And I think that's
Not people you knew.
no, not anyone I knew. But there were cases of it.
Sure.
And my aunt who worked in medicine, the medical field, once she heard that we had done this,
Yeah.
she mentioned somebody who came in, had abused the quercetin. I don't know what the fuck it's called. I have no clue.
Okay.
I'm looking at this. See,
Coumadin.
it shouldn't be that difficult to pronounce. Coricin. It's that second C. Coricin.
Oh.
I'm not able to spell this. Sound this out. I don't know what's up with me.
Quercetin looks right to me.
Yeah, quercetin, I guess.
Cold relief for people with high blood pressure.
That's it. They were these little red pills, and we called them Skittles, thinking we were really like cool and clever.
Cool. Yeah. I think me and Anna called cigarettes Twizzlers.
It's just there's an innocence about that.
There is. Yeah.
It's like, give me a Twizzler. Where did that even come from? They don't even look like Twizzlers.
Well, they're just like, in a way they're cylindrical,
Sure.
long.
When I used to get packs of Twizzlers and watch the Atlanta Knights hockey games and on Friday nights when I was in middle school, I would bite both ends of the Twizzler and breathe
Oh, yeah.
through it.
Oh, yeah. That's very important. It's important work.
So that's close to a cigarette. I didn't think of it being a cigarette. I more or less thought of it as a straw.
Like a straw. Yeah.
Put it in some milk or something. I'm just thinking of a gross liquid to put a Twizzler in.
It's got to be like a Coca-Cola or something. It'd be really cool. And have
It's
a
too much-
pizza party.
It's too much sugar. It's the one.
It's too much sugar.
As a fan of sugar, I still feel if you eat candy and then drink soda after eating it's too much. And the soda tastes too sweet at that point. It's
Well, because you have an adult palate.
no, even as a kid, that was one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like Coke after candy. It was just exaggerated. The sweetness was exaggerated.
It's too much. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
There is such thing as too much, and when it comes to
Yeah.
sugar, that's it's a high ceiling for me.
That's true.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic.
I never
Your name
oh, my name is Autumn Fisher.
and my name is Greg Russ.
I loved the point of adulthood when I wanted, like when I had like something sweet, like a sweet dessert or a sweet little treat, and I wanted like a strong coffee. Like I wouldn't have like sugared coffee. Maybe I'd put milk in it or something, but having the bitter coffee with the sweet treat was like, oh, so good. And then I was like, oh, this is why people have coffee with dessert at like dinners, right? You're like, anyone for coffee? You know, it's like coffee with your special dessert we made for the dinners.
And donuts, though I've never made that combo myself. I've never
That's
Not-
so good.
put it together. I've never dipped a donut into coffee. I've never had a donut. I guess at a Dunkin' Donuts, I probably have had a donut and then drank some coffee, but it wasn't on
That's
purpose.
a different thing though, because the donut's like a tiny treat, and then the coffee lasts for, an hour and a half. And so you're drinking more of the coffee. So like if you have like a cup of coffee, like a real, like not a teacup, but a smaller portion of coffee with your little dessert, like it becomes paired well,
Yeah, I always view it as a scam.
A scam? What do you mean?
At the restaurants, just get to spend some more money.
Well, I mean, there's that.
Sure, there's a pairing that you have appreciated. So there's a reason for it, but I look at it and it's like, you want me to get 2 more items after I just spent a lot of money? I don't think so.
Well, I think it's probably from like dinner, having people for dinner.
Entertaining.
Yes, entertaining. It's
All
a dinner
these
party.
Arbitrary rules on what makes a good dinner party and what doesn't, and having the proper utensils and dishware and glasses. It's all a scam, all made up so companies can sell people more shit. It's my take. I eat off paper plates with plastic forks.
You're contributing to the downfall of the planet.
No, I don't. I don't actually do that. There was a time I thought about it just because I was so lazy when I didn't have a dishwasher and I didn't want to hand wash dishes.
I mean, I have paper plates.
There's a place for them. Also, paper plates isn't as bad as the plastic forks. The paper plates will disintegrate.
Sure, that's true.
You're still creating a lot more waste. I found out a lot of the waste in New York goes to incinerators.
Oh.
Burn to energy plants, which are apparently terrible for the air quality. But
sure.
They just burn it all. And
there's no free lunch, like you cannot get rid of this waste in a way that doesn't have a consequence.
Well, the burning drives turbines. I don't know if they're steaming water, like heating water, so it turns to steam, which then turns turbines. Turbines. And that creates, the energy with a generator. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I need to watch some history show, but the History Channel these days doesn't show anything. They're block programming now, and I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I just got History Channel.
Oh.
So it's a weird way to phrase it, but I hadn't had the History Channel in a while.
You resubscribed or something?
Like the YouTube TV price is going up.
Okay.
Constantly, and then they were going to lose a bunch of channels, and I said, fuck this, I'm going to go to Spectrum. I'm already paying them for a digital cable package, the most basic that we never use, and because they have to cut deals so you can get apps on the TV or the Fire Stick, there wasn't a proper Spectrum app on the Fire Stick, which is what we were using, because I refused to get a smart TV because I didn't want my TV to be connected to the internet constantly, which is dumb because then you plug something in that's connected to the internet. So what the fuck's the difference?
Oh, yeah. What?
Well, we also have a smart TV downstairs in the bedroom. And
I don't know how you don't get a smart TV these days. Do they make not smart TVs?
Yeah, it's basically a monitor, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a TV. It's not a big computer monitor, but it's the same thing. You just plug things into it and it just shows you what you've got plugged into it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I did all this upgrading. It's like, we got to get the Roku because the Roku is the only thing that takes the Spectrum app because Spectrum has this feud with Amazon. And the LG TV downstairs, which is a smart TV, doesn't get the Spectrum app, but it was a Samsung TV, it would. The whole thing is a fucking mess, and it's all garbage, and it's just everyone squeezing every dollar they can get out of everyone else. But the YouTube TV prices had just gone up, and then they said, we're going to lose all of the Paramount channels, which is a lot. Under Paramount these days, there's a lot of shit.
Okay.
And I was like, fuck that. So I started setting up the Spectrum thing and getting a better package together, and then even their packages, you can pick 15 channels that you want. And you can change them on a monthly basis. I was like, well, I want something more than that. Well, more is going to cost you an additional $100. Like, I don't, fuck all of you. What the fuck? So I set up that initial package and picked some channels. Then we never ended up canceling YouTube TV. The loss of the channels didn't go through. Now I'm paying extra for the Spectrum bullshit. And then I just turn on the History Channel every once in a while because YouTube TV doesn't have history. And watch The Food That Made America. Apparently, Pawn Stars, Ancient Aliens, and The Food That Built America is worth the additional money that I'm spending. I should cancel it, but now it's like a gym membership where part of me thinks, you deserve this, you idiot. Continue to pay this money. How you You were reactionary because you heard that YouTube TV is going to lose these channels. Why?
You should watch Alone. Alone's on History Channel.
History Channel, and my initial point was apparently it's just block programming now. Tuesdays is Pawn Star days. All day, Pawn
Oh,
Stars.
really?
Yeah, Mondays, Ancient Alien Day.
Oh,
Sundays, the food that built America.
uh-huh.
I could look now. American Pickers, is that still on? Is that a thing? They get rid of him because that Frank Fritz was a little prick. I think
Wait,
they
what
got
did
rid
he
of that
do?
show. He was just I don't know what he really did, but I think he had a falling out with the other dude, the other host, Wolf.
There's so many things that built on the History Channel.
Yeah.
The booze, bets, and sex that built America.
They're decent shows. They're
the
fine.
Titans that built America. The mega brands that built America.
They're all right. They strive too hard to be in the vein of Bill Bryson. You ever read Bill Bryson books?
No.
Yeah, I knew that. Why did I even ask?
Yeah.
Why the fuck? No, you did. You stole the one book from me.
Oh, I like that book.
He's the one who wrote the book
The
about
parts I read, I liked.
American English.
No, that was cool.
Yeah, you stole that book, so you have read some a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. My bad.
His writing is, I'm going to teach you about something, but it's personable and it's interesting and it's funny, and I think those the Built America shows are in the same vein. History, what's on now? The fucking Oak Island shit. How's
What's
that
that?
show still on?
Oak Island?
There's some Oak Island is an island that's shrouded in mystery, and there's treasure apparently buried somewhere deep because some pirate at some point decided I gotta hide my treasure so people don't steal it from me. And if you wanted to do one season of this where these people were looking for this treasure, that would be fine. But I think they're 10 seasons in, and they find an old coin and they stretch that out 3 episodes.
It's like the Ghost People. It's the same sounding thing.
Just
where it's like nothing really happens, so they have to do a lot.
Yeah, there's clearly nothing there. There's nothing there. I don't know why people watch the show. If one day they do find a treasure, then great. And then we can catch up and say, wow, we are all wrong.
Yeah.
But you've been wasting money, wasting time. I mean, at this point, maybe history's paying funding for some of the exploration because they're getting a show out of it. So it allows them to continue on. But it's pretty clear. There's nothing. Oh, there's these secret tunnels and rooms that were built deep under the land, but they get flooded. It's like if you're dealing with flooding, the fucking pirate was dealing with flooding. And if you can't handle the flooding with modern equipment, the fucking pirate couldn't get down there.
No, they're going to find it, though.
Well, they find an old piece of wood. It's a beam from a chamber.
Yes. We're almost there.
I don't even know what they think. Are these guys at this point have to know, and they're just doing the show, right? Now they're just putting on a show.
Of course.
But maybe not. They're the kind of morons that seem to buy into it. No, it's there. As if the world's playing a trick on them. The world wants us to think there's nothing, and the world wants us to give up. If we give up, then we don't get the treasure.
You think that really is what they're... I think they're really that, like, I don't know, delusional?
It's just a shame because I think Steve Craig told me about Oak Island a long time ago.
No.
Not the show, just actual Oak Island.
Yeah.
And, it was interesting. It's like, oh, wow, like this island that people think treasure is buried on. And you read about it. And like, I had no idea this existed. That's cool. And then the show pops up and you're like, oh, I heard about this. 12 seasons of this fucking thing.
Wow. 12 seasons?
This is what AI...
Do they ever find anything good?
This is why AI chatbots exist. Why the fuck is Oak Island still
Don't
on
talk that way to
TV?
your ChatGPT.
There clearly is no treasure. At this point, the dudes on the show know this and just continue on because they like being on TV. It's insulting to my intelligence. All right. The response is you are definitely not alone in feeling that way about the Curse of Oak Island. Many viewers share your frustration. Here's a breakdown of some of the factors that contribute to the show's continued run: the power of mystery, the appeal of the search. Yeah, all of that's fine. Stretching it out, it's stretching out taffy. It becomes thinner, and then at some point it starts to break.
Uh-huh.
That's where we are.
Overworked.
Yeah, production value and storytelling. The show is well produced. Just because a show is well produced doesn't mean it deserves to stay on the air.
Oh no.
But I guess the ratings are there.
And how much money does it make? How much does it cost to do? It must where is this island?
Nova Scotia.
Wow, so there has to be some budget for this.
Yeah, I'm sure
know?
there's a decent amount of money that goes into it.
Yeah.
In
Weird.
essence, while many viewers are frustrated by the lack of conclusive findings, the show has found a formula that keeps a significant audience engaged.
I guess. Jeez.
It's one of those shows I see that it's on and there's a pang of disappointment. I'm like, oh, man, this, and then I don't turn it on.
Oh, so you don't watch it, or you do watch it?
I've watched it in the past. I've only watched a few episodes. It was never engagement viewing.
Right.
It wasn't one of, I gotta, because it always ends on a cliffhanger. They're digging through the mud, and then somebody says,
"Whoa!" Yeah.
And there's a snap zoom with the camera, and you don't see what it is, and it cuts to black, and they want you to watch next time to see what it is. And then you watch next time, and yeah, it's a splinter. It's like, this is old wood. Look at this. This isn't wood that's native. This isn't from the trees on this island. This clearly was a beam for a giant vault that was built underground.
This could be something spectacular.
What are some of the dumb things they found on Oak Island? I call them dumb because they exaggerate and pretend it's a significant finding when it's really just an old piece of wood or a metal thing.
Man.
Bits of wood. Often fragments of old wood are presented as potential evidence of mysterious structures or chests. Metal fragments, rusty metal pieces such as nails or spikes are frequently found. These are speculated to be from ancient ships, treasure chests. Anomalies in the ground. Geophysical surveys often reveal anomalies beneath the surface, which are interpreted as potential hidden chambers or tunnels. However, these anomalies often turn out to be natural formations.
Yeah.
The Roman sword debacle.
What's that?
I don't know. One notable example was the initial excitement surrounding a metal object that was claimed to be a Roman sword. This claim was later largely debunked, highlighting the tendency for initial interpretations to be overly optimistic. Well, what did it end up being? And then traces of metal, such as silver. Well, it's interesting that these metals are found. The quantities are often so small that it's hard to say if they are from deposited treasure. No, it's not hard to say they are not from deposited treasure. What did it end up being? I promise I'll get off of fucking ChatGPT after this. I just want to know more about this Roman sword.
Yeah.
So they found this sword-like object. All right, now it's not even a sword. What is a sword-like object?
What is that? Yeah, a stick that has a long thing on the end that's pointy.
It sparked excitement, as it would suggest the Romans had reached North America centuries before Christopher Columbus. Well, we already know that the Vikings reached North America before Christopher Columbus, and we already know people were fucking living here. So even if the Romans had, I guess because it's not something that we know they've done, it would open up a whole new chapter. But the claims were amplified by researchers who presented theories about Roman voyages to the New World, of course. They're going to come on. It's a TV show.
Because that's part of it, too. Because then they can just, go for it and now talk about this other thing.
Yeah. You introduce more vagueness, more doubt, more questions, and you can continue the show, even if you know that it's not anything.
Right. Yeah.
Concerns were raised that the object was in too good of condition. It was too well preserved
Oh, okay.
for an artifact that had supposedly been submerged for centuries. Also, questions about the reliability of the information surrounding its discovery. So I don't know who discovered it, but apparently it was some dude who was desperate for attention and probably made it up. And then analysis of the metal in the object led experts to believe it was much more modern. There were also replicas of similar looking swords sold online.
Oh man, that's embarrassing. That's
Yeah.
real embarrassing.
Yes, and then you ask the question: did the show do this?
Yeah. Or
Did
did they really just find something? I mean, there's stuff everywhere. I don't know.
I wouldn't put it past some person to float out to the island and throw the sword into the water,
Well, there's that too.
hoping that
But
they
even,
find it.
what season was this? Was it like season 8? Because then maybe they did that.
What season was the Roman sword debacle? Oh, it was season 3. That was early on.
Oh man, maybe they really did find it. It's kind of interesting because, like, if you really know you're a charlatan, you know, but you're making money and it's like, this is a fun show that I'm doing, you are. There's got to be a time when you're really are looking for stuff, trying to make content out of nothing. And then you really do maybe find something. You're like, wait, could this be something real? You know?
At some point, though, you start to look like a complete and utter idiot, a gullible fool, when the show runs 12 years and you're still, at least on screen, presenting it as if you truly believe. You're emphatic about it. Like, it's real. The treasures. And I get that if you're making money and it's a show, that maybe, you know, you having that show is worth you looking like an asshole. Everyone can make their own decision on that front. I just don't think I would feel good about that long in. I'm like, I'm really coming off like an idiot here.
I know, but I guess they're making money. And then it turns into their job. And they're like, well, we got to keep this job going. Like, I've been in Hollywood for so long. I'm trying to make it. And I finally got something. And we're in season 8. And I'm embarrassed. But
well, yeah, that's your guy from Vanderpump Rules. I don't know his name. I know there are a lot of people on the
Tom
show.
Sandoval?
Was he the bartender?
Yeah, is he on Traders?
I don't know.
Is that who you're referring to?
What is Traders?
Oh, I don't know. So, are you talking about Jax?
All I know is there was some guy who was in LA and he was about to give up. He's like, I'm done. Nothing's happening. And then he got a job.
Jax.
He got a job bartending just until he figured out what he wanted to do. And then everything fell into his lap because the show started.
But Jax is a liar. So
is he?
Yeah, like legitimately a true weird liar.
What does he
lie
lie
says
about?
He was in the army, or like he was like discharged from like the Navy or something. He makes up stuff about like jobs that he has that he was never offered. It's really weird.
Well, his story, from what I know, which is very little, it kind of fit what you were talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm about to leave. This isn't working. And then suddenly, all right, you're on a reality show. You're making money. People do know who you are, but you're still not rubbing elbows with the real famous people, the actual celebs, the ones whose opinions matter. I'm going to run my mouth because I'm in movies. It's like, no, the whole point of your existence is to not actually share your own thoughts. It's to play other characters. And we shouldn't know anything about who you are as a person. That's really the way that this should go, dumb actor. We don't need your podcast. We don't need to hear about you and your beliefs and philosophies. People don't need to hear that about, me.
And your feelings about the History Channel?
Yeah, sure. And just everyone in their dumb podcast these days. And celebrities used to have some level of self-respect. They wouldn't do commercials in America. They go to Japan because they wanted easy money, but they knew doing commercials would hurt them to an extent. Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing commercials? You're supposed to be above this. These days, they don't fucking give a shit. There's no shame. There's nothing.
Well, now, because it's different because actors used to look down on being on TV.
I know.
And now it doesn't really matter. You can switch between movies and TV and it's fine.
And that's fine to me. I know that existed, and I guess TV was a lesser medium. But, the golden age of television really changed things. Because you even had Clooney, who started in TV. It's like, I got to get to the movies. I don't want to be on TV anymore.
Right. Started out on Roseanne.
And then it became, yes, a two-way street where people go back and forth between the two, and they're fine with that. But the commercial thing, come on, have some shame.
Have some shame.
You don't have enough money at this point. You need to go fucking hawk items. And I know that the artists behind the music, sure, they get paid for it and they could say no, assuming they own the rights to their songs. But the fact that popular music is used in every fucking commercial now, or bastardizations of it, like the Ozempic.
Woo-hoo!
Why? What is this fucking trend where there's just no line between anything anymore? I find it to be disappointing.
Yeah, I understand how, I kind of feel disappointed sometimes if I hear like a really cool, interesting song.
It's magic. It's ruined forever. You realize that, right?
Commercial. Yeah.
If you hear that song, you're going to think Ozempic. It's magic. The song is ruined.
Ozempic.
Yeah, it's ruined. And okay, fine. Ozempic got what they wanted. And then we think of Ozempic. Can't blame them. That was the point. Who sold the fucking rights to them? To change the lyrics, too. It's one thing to use the song.
Yeah.
But we want to change the lyrics so that it's the name of the drug. If I own the rights, it could just be a label at this point, and they don't give a shit. I'd have to look into that. But if I own the rights to the song, I'd say, no, you're not fucking do that. Get out of here. Sure, you don't care. You'll find something else. You can find, Toto Africa and force Ozempic into that song somehow. Ozempic down in your fat thigh. Losing the weight every day.
You're okay with them using Africa?
No, I'm not. I'm just using an example of if you.
Okay, I thought you were saying like that's all right, but
that wouldn't be okay. I would feel the same way.
It's magic.
I'm just saying that if you refuse it, they're going to find something else. Sure,
right. But
have some fucking respect for the work that you did. Again, I have to guess that the label owned the rights. I'm looking more shit up. Need somebody on the show. If we had a budget, hire someone. Look this up for me now. So I don't have to do it while other people are listening.
I'm trying to think of other jingles that have used songs that I've liked. I feel like there's one that's on the radio show where it's like, oh, it's all my friend and a lowrider, isn't it? It's lowrider, but it's another,
It's a
Izervay. Keeps me going lower, stronger, or something. Izervay.
It's disgusting. It just doesn't matter. All of the advertising of drugs in the first place has been talked to death. People have pointed out and saying that it happens. It doesn't happen in other countries. But they're stealing now. Now they're just not invading our space. They're stealing our popular media and culture and twisting it and using it. Oh, fuck.
Well, at least there's cool songs that we know now.
I guess. Cool. Are there?
Yeah, I don't know. Kinda. I don't know. I try not to watch commercials.
Yeah, when you have YouTube TV.
Yeah. You got a lot of commercials.
Come on over. It's only $40 a month. Cut the cord. Come on over. It's only $50 a month. Come on over. It's only $65 a month. You're already here. It's $85 a month now. What were you paying before? Oh, that's right. The same. Disgusting.
That is messed up.
I mean, that's the model these days.
Mm-hmm.
Uber, don't tip. $6 a ride. So, of course, everyone in New York is going to take an Uber. Oh,
Yeah.
we destroyed the yellow cab industry. They're gone now. People committed suicide. We destroyed it so well because they had a medallion, because you needed a medallion to legally drive a yellow taxi cab in New York. And they cost so much money that people mortgaged their whole lives to get this thing. We destroyed it. Now people are dead. And now that we own the industry, rides are just as much, if not more, than taxis. What are you going to do? Nothing. Now we're your only choice.
I mean, it's just things shifting and changing. I think it's always been this way, right?
Well, there's money pumped into these companies to destroy. In the past, not to say there weren't like people who would invest and help you do that. There's so much money set aside for things like that. It's like this company's not going to make any money for 8 years. That's fine. Let's just get them in. Let's get them in to destroy everything. And once we have a stranglehold on the market, then we can jack the prices up and one day we will make our money. I feel like a lot of people in the past, because it's not people, it's corporations, investment firms who can take such a hit. Most people can't sit around waiting for that long.
I don't know. I feel like all of the stuff about like the prices going up and companies starting out as a good idea and interesting and then shifting into like not necessarily corruption, but just shifted away from its roots. Isn't that always the way it's been? This just is the way that it is.
I don't think to this extreme.
You don't think so? I think we just didn't know.
I don't think to this extreme. I could be wrong. You're right.
I just don't want to be someone
always
yelling at the
There was always
clouds.
competition. There was always, hey, I went to break into the market, and if there's already an established market like soap and your Dove, it's like, man, Dial already exists. How can we get into it? Well, tell people it's good for their skin. You figure out ways to do it. Yeah, that existed.
Sure.
I just feel like the blunt force trauma of we don't fucking give a shit if you make money up front. Here's just millions of dollars. Go disrupt. That feels more like a tech thing.
Yeah.
Disrupting the advancement of technology and tech companies. The whole idea was go destroy industries that already exist. And then you can present yourself as a rebel. We were the disruptors. We rode into
kind of
town.
like possibly what Elon Musk is doing, right? It's like I'm disrupting this system that's in place that is, overspending and whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. But also you should not be the one doing it because you might have a vested interest.
Well, whatever vested interest he had, it's not working out well for him.
No.
Nobody wants Teslas anymore.
But there's he's got others, hands in pots.
What, pneumatic tubes?
Yeah, or something. Whatever. SpaceX.
Yeah, SpaceX just had 2 launches back to back that blew up. Things aren't going well.
But lots of stuff blows up.
I know.
Lots of those things that blow up.
What I'm saying is things aren't going well for him right now.
Oh.
Tesla, that's a 180. That used to be the cool electric car. It's like nobody wants an electric car. They're so lame.
Ellie loves pointing out Teslas. She's like, Tesla, when we're driving around.
Yeah, now you got to tell her. It's like, stay away.
I know. I'm not going to corrupt her. She can keep going over. She can keep being excited to see a Tesla. It's fine. But I do. I'm like, ugh.
Well, what are you going to do when she sees a Tesla that somebody stuck a swastika on that she does? They didn't realize it. So
I don't know if she does she know what a swastika is?
Well, she's going to ask, what's that sticker?
I'll tell her the truth. I'll say people are upset with Elon Musk.
But I have to tell you what Nazis are, and we got to get into that. And
she might know because, she's in 5th grade.
Try to be bored. I don't know how much you grasp in 5th grade. I got a piece of the Berlin Wall in 5th grade. I don't even know how I got the piece of the Berlin Wall.
It was very popular back then. I remember seeing pieces of like as a thing in someone's house, you know?
Yeah, it came down and then people apparently sold pieces of it because you want to collect that. Why? But in fifth grade, I got a piece and I didn't, like, I was explained what it was. It didn't really register.
Yeah, you didn't
that
really
much.
register. Yeah, that's true.
I was like, okay, there was this wall.
So she'll comprehend. And, you know, anytime it's something kind of touchy like that, I'll try and just give her like an overview. And then if she asks questions, then I'll fill her in. But
I
try not to give her like everything because I don't know what she's ready to hear yet.
I think she would get bored.
Yeah,
start explaining it. She's like, okay, I'm sorry I asked this. I took the wall to my grandmother who was from Berlin, but, had to flee during World War II. She was half Jewish and she should get it away from me.
Whoa, really? Wouldn't it be like a nice symbol to say like this is come down and it's good?
No, like she never even went back. So she wasn't there when the wall was up because she got out while the war was still going on. But
okay.
I guess just what happened, the war, after the war, seeing what happened to her hometown, whatever. It just stirred some feelings. She's like, get it away from me. And I didn't even know how to handle that because, again, I couldn't fully grasp.
Right. Like, but why?
Yeah, it was a mean thing. So then I just gave it to my fifth grade teacher. I said, here, keep this. Like, he was good at history. I think he was fifth grade, so the teacher taught everything, but he was good history teacher.
Okay, that's nice.
I wonder if he kept it.
I wonder
if he showed it to future classes.
He brought it to his grandmother and she was like, get that away from me.
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know how you'd explain it. If I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking about doing Skittles.
Oh, yeah.
You were talking about worrying about your kids. Like, not in general, but it kind of came up that.
But yeah, just thinking about like, man, I could be innocently sleeping and my kid is taking weird drugs.
Yeah. How would you feel? Do you think you'd be able to handle being a parent when we were kids, in that there were no cell phones? You couldn't keep track of them. They were just kind of out running around and you'd have to deal with it? Or would it drive you insane?
I think I'd be okay. And plus what you had, like what my parents did was they would... It's like you give little bits at a time and see how they handle it. So like my mom gave me a lot of freedom because anytime I moved from one location to another, if I was just out, then I had to use the house phones at someone's house to let them know to let my parents know that I've gone there. Or vice versa. Like before we leave, I'd have to call my mom and let her know we're going over here. Mm-hmm. So we were in communication. I didn't tell her everything. I wasn't telling her I was in the woods trying to smoke,
Twizzlers.
Cigarettes from a parent's ashtray.
Well, your kids are going to be going through that soon. You just have to hope
maybe.
They survive. Most survive. I look back at some of the dumb stuff I did, and it's kind of shocking. You could see, like, there's many points where you can look at something. It's like, that could have gone very wrong. That could have gone very wrong. That could have gone very wrong. Yeah. It's kind of crazy that it didn't, but apparently... most people are in similar situations and it doesn't necessarily go wrong for them, but some poor saps it does. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough to know.
It's like the subway surfing here. Like kids climb up there.
Yeah, that's awful.
I get it. It's like you really don't think anything will happen. You're like, nothing bad can happen. And even when
the kids don't think that.
That's what I mean. And then even when something bad does happen, maybe if it was your friend and you saw it, but there are plenty of stories of kids dying from subway surfing. And if it's someone you didn't know and you were a kid who was doing it, you read the story and it still doesn't have an effect. Like, well, whatever, I'll continue to do it.
Well, especially because like if you hear about it being so dangerous and then you see your friends do it and then you try it and you make it and everything's okay, you're like, oh, okay, it's not so bad. But then you don't think about all these strange scenarios that could come up where like you lift your head at the wrong time or like you slip or who knows.
Yeah, the train slams on its brakes.
Awful.
And then you got the social media has made it worse. People always did it, but I think when
we should go after the game.
Well,
the game Subway Surfers.
Is that a
Blame
real
them.
thing?
Yeah, there's a game called Subway Surfers. It's like really addicting. But it's just like a video. It's like a little cartoony thing. It's not like It's nothing.
When you see videos that have, 1 million views and tens of thousands of likes because somebody's up there, it definitely adds incentive. Like the people who climb these buildings with no safety gear.
Yeah.
One, I don't even know how they get up there. There's like some dude who was at the top of the Empire State Building, at the top of the antenna. It's like, how the fuck did you even get up there? One. And I guess that's part of the appeal and why people look at it, because they like to think about all that went into it. But then he just stands up there, like no safety gear and a selfie stick. It's like, it does
Those are
end.
people that aren't on drugs or like abusing alcohol, and instead are getting those same sort of brain experiences through risk.
Yeah. But for a lot of them, they die. It does happen.
Right.
It happens at a pretty high rate. Sure, maybe the percentages of people who die still aren't outweighing those who live, but there are plenty of instances. There are plenty of videos online where people fall.
Sure.
I saw some video, some dude climbed over the edge of a tall building to do some pull-ups.
I've seen that.
And his upper body strength gave out, but usually he could use his legs to climb back up. But this building, the surface, the side of it was too slippery, so he couldn't get any grip with his feet. It's a fucking awful thing to watch. You can see him start to panic.
Yeah.
And then muscles just give out and he just falls. Same thing. Somebody climbed a crane and then they fell. I watch these videos if I come across them with my hands over my eyes, peeking through my fingers, because I don't want to see the actual person splat or anything.
No. Most places won't show that type of thing.
Well, I don't know. There's some subreddits that.
Oh, that's true. But they'll tell you, won't they?
I mean, like if you're in the subreddit that is
watch out.
That was formerly Make My Coffin.
Whoa, what's that?
Well, they shut it down, but it's exactly what you think. It's people dying, like doing stupid things, dying from doing stupid things. So it's like Make My Coffin while I climb this building and jump over the edge.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
And
that's funny.
Yeah, but
hold
it's actually
my beer. I know it's upsetting, but that's the thing about Reddit. It's so clever sometimes.
But then that got shut down, and then it became something, I think, like Make My Cupcakes, because they were trying to hide it, but then that got shut down. But I never, again, I visited that one once, and I saw something I didn't want to see.
Oof. And then did it like haunt you?
Yeah, I don't know why people like to watch death.
Yeah.
Especially graphic, gruesome death. I have no interest. Like, I shouldn't say there's no interest. There's curiosity, but not enough to get me to actually watch it, because it just sticks in my brain too much.
It's scary.
Yeah. No, thank you. The Daniel Pearl video was he was the journalist that was taken prisoner and eventually beheaded. And
yeah, I've heard about that video. Like, I've heard it described and stuff.
There's the fucking Berg video where apparently that's the whole thing. The Pearl thing, I think, was one of the first instances of, this is being posted to the internet. And we were at, 96 Rock at the time, and I was in one of the small production studios, and the video didn't show the actual killing. It showed footage of him alive before, and then it cut to footage of him dead after, and them holding his head up detached from his body.
Oh, right. Okay.
And that alone, like, I really almost vomited.
Really?
And yes.
Yeah.
And so that, I knew. It's like, I don't have the stomach for this. I don't really have that much interest. There's always going to be a weird, morbid curiosity. But
how did people like gather and watch beheadings and stuff in like the squares?
I don't know. But there's that Berg video where that's the one that I've heard described that I never want to see. Where he's alive and they start sawing his head off. Jesus
that.
Fucking
Yikes.
Christ. Yeah, no thank you. No fucking thank you. All right. On that happy note.
Yeah, jeez.
You wish we had talked about your
my problems?
Your squirts.
My runs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't, but yeah, we can talk about other people's stuff. Can't talk about my stuff.
That would have been a better topic than where we ended up.
Woo! Well, it's not my fault. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a lovely day and week. Okay, talk to you next time. Bye.